Okay, so good morning, all of you. That last time we have discussed about that the various CSS are there. First CSS, that is inline CSS. Then after next one is that internal CSS. What is the difference? That we know very well that within a tag, if we mention that some effects in the style tag or style attributes, that is called as the inline CSS. And if we are not put, or if we are not mentioned that within that tag, but if we are mentioned within that file, and including that head section, we are just mentioned that particularly, just a minute. So particularly this file, we have to mention in that inside of that head section using a style tag. Yeah. See, once I use in that inline CSS, you must be use a style attribute. And if you are using that internal CSS, you must be used as a style tag. And if we are create as an external CSS, so what we have to do in that external CSS? First, we have to create as external file, and that file we have to link up with our this HTML file. Now, what we have to link, or how can we link this external file with this our HTML file? Which tag we are used? Link tag is used, and in that link tag, which attributes we are used? href, that means a particular that file name of this particular CSS that we have to reference, and that reference we have to put in this our HTML file. And based on that CSS, whatever we have done, anything clear. Now see, in that CSS you can do anything, number of things, but we have a sort of time that, so we can't do that each and every practical on it, but I can give you that suggestions for that you can do from that. Okay, so you can get the idea, or you can get the reference from that particular W3 schools is the best for that CSS as well as HTML part. Okay, so now see, in this CSS, that numbers of effect we can apply are there. Clear? Just we can do that background color, we can do that a font color, font families, then so based on that, today we will learn about that the img tag. How can we do that img tag with their, how can we do that effect on it? તો કરશે તું તો અહીં જો. Okay, so again see that image is a tag, img is a tag. We can use inside of that internal as well as in the external CSS, just like as a element selectors. Clear? Right now I didn't mention anything in this id or class selector. I just mentioned over here as a img tag. Inside of img tag, something is mentioned over here. Now what is that? That we have to see in this output. First, you have to just tell me that what I mentioned in this my body part. What is that? Just tell me that, is it something extra which we don't know anything in this part? Strong. Strong is just like a bold keyword. Sorry, bold tag. Clear? So it is mentioned that little bit a bold part. Little, your font will be a little bit bold compared to the normal tag. So strong is for us new. Remaining everything is normal. But once we are moving to that internal CSS, or once we see that internal CSS, something is different, which is we don't know right now. Actually, that internal CSS, that style tag is there, but inside of style tag, image is the element selector is there. But what we have to do in that image part, that we have to learn over here. Now, actually, I will apply the filter of that image. Now, what kind of that filter I have applied over here? That is a grayscale. Now, what is the grayscale? Your image will be converted into that a black and white. Okay. So, in using this effect, I have just mentioned over here that filter as a grayscale, and that grayscale is the considered for our image. Now, what kind of image will be displayed as a black and white? Which is mentioned over here that image img tag is used in my body part. So automatically what happened, that this effect will be considered if I mention over here as a body part of this. Okay, so 1.jpg, so I'll just give you that a proper word. So 1.jpg is similar in my same folder. So I don't have to mention that a whole path. I have to just mention the name of it. Now this image will be considered. This image is considered whatever the image is, that either RGB or CMYK color, but it is converted into the black and white. So black and white, how can you provide or how can you convert a black and white? So that property value is that grayscale. Okay, let's see that output. My file name is H10. See, this is not my actual image. My actual image is this one, which is already some colors are there. This is the screenshot of one of the meeting, but the image is most.
Sir, picture is not visible.
Okay, now it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is my actual image. Now, how can I convert into my the grayscale? So how I given that as a specific, a particular effect on this image? Clear? Now, before we are applying that, first I need a confirmations from your side that is it any hurdles from your side that to apply inline CSS, internal CSS or external CSS. See, how can we apply this, that we know that inside of external CSS what we have to do, that is depends on us. If we have to apply that image, if we apply to that font or anything, we can use it. Clear? So right now I'm just using that element selector. For that element selector I put over here as a IMG. Now IMG is a tag. Now inside of IMG tag I am using that WebKit filter. WebKit filter, this kind of filter I can apply in this a particular image size. So grayscale, that is 100%. And one more thing is there. Then how can you provide a comment part in this CSS? Now CSS is the part of HTML. Now in that HTML, if we want to give as a comment, that means this code is I don't want to consider is in output. So what should I have to do? I must have to do as a comment part. Okay, so how to do as a comment in HTML? That angular bracket, exclamation mark and double dash, that is the starting comment tag. Then over tag is that double dash and angular bracket is over, that is your comment is over. But in CSS, what to do for the comment part? That slash and star, slash star, and then after whatever you write, that will be considered as a comment. It is not considered in the executions. Okay, so I'm just mentioned over here as a comment part. Then filter grayscale 100%. Now how can you justify or how can you remind this type of filters are there, or how can we know that a CSS effects are there? Now see, if you are apply regularly, then you know very well this kind of CSS effects you can apply over here. But once you don't know anything about it, that you have to remember that. Now how to learn this CSS effect, or how to get a various CSS effects, then you can overview of this W3 schools website. You can get a multiple CSS effects. There are multiple CSS effects. Get my point? So this one of this effect which is I got from that same website, but right now we can get, or we have to understood about this internal CSS. Okay, now inside of internal CSS what we have to write, that is, it's not limit, anything you can write, anything you can apply it. Clear? It's not a limitations are there. But for the particular today's exercise you have to do this. Now why my image is only inside of this box will be displayed, because I mentioned over here as a width and height is 300. Now if I mention that 300, what it means? It's 300 pixel. Okay. If I omit that a px value, by default, if you mention that value, that considered as a pixel value. Clear, everyone? Charles says it's the same. That's why.
સર આપણે ક્રિસ્ટલ 100% થી ઘટાડી 50% કરી
Little bit આવી જશે થોડું, for example 50%. So
તો સર ઉપર એટલે કરી પડશે ને?
yes, okay, 50% now grayscale આ જે effect આપેલી છે. So this effect, yeah, means opacity means transparency
એટલે સર કેટલું
how much color you are applying. Clear? So grayscale, it's if you see this image, it's not proper color. Little bit you can face the black and white color. Color oriented, we can say that. Color oriented, how much value you are applying, based on that it is displayed.
comment part આપડા ડેશ થી ચાલુ કરીએ.
Yes, comment part અહીંથી start.
આપણે 96 ની બારીમાં લખીને પેલી comment માં છે.
હા,
આપણોમાં સ્ટાર્ટિંગ અને એન્ડ હોય આપણે HTML CSS માં કેસમાં આપણે પર લાઈન આપણે નાખવું પડશે ને કમેન્ટ.
પર લાઈન કમેન્ટ માટે તમારે કમેન્ટ નાખવાની જરૂર નથી. કમેન્ટ તો ખાલી એક છે કે તમે આપી શકો છો.
સર આપણે આમાં અલ્ટ ના વાપરે તો એ ચાલે.
અલ્ટ નો મીનિંગ છે કે તમારી ઇમેજ તમારું બ્રાઉઝર સપોર્ટ ન કરે. હા, at that time you can use this alt image. Now see, actual this line is only for this apply for filter grayscale. Now filter grayscale ની જગ્યાએ તમે બીજું કોઈ બી યુઝ કરશો, just like blur. So your image will be displayed as little bit blur are there. Okay, wait, we have to use 100%.
ઉપર એ ચેન્જ કરવું પડશે.
Kaidi. I'm not sure that the same effect is mentioned. Nothing. Okay, so image life. Filter blur is there. Okay, meanwhile you have to do this one. So first grayscale. Grayscale, that is 100%. Mobile are not allowed. I'm done. આમ ટર્ન થઈ જાય બુફેમાં કેમ જમસ બીજી ચેર રાખી હા અહીંયા આવતો રહે હા અટેન્ડન્સ કોડિંગ ઓકે નાવ તમારા માટે એક આ લાઈન નવી છે નવું બનાવો તો પ્રેક્ટિસ Online students, you done this exercise? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. વિન્ડો પ્રિન્ટ સ્ક્રીન ની જરૂર નથી, ખાલી પ્રિન્ટ સ્ક્રીન થી થઈ જાય. પેઇન્ટ માં એને પેસ્ટ કર, પ્રિન્ટ સ્ક્રીન પ્રેસ કર, ખાલી વિન્ડો પેઇન્ટ ઓપન કર, પેઇન્ટ પેસ્ટ કંટ્રોલ વી. નો આવ્યું? Now I can recognize you. આપણે આપેલું Okay, Jay, that grayscale is used to convert your image. Actually, it's not convert, which is apply a one kind of filter. So that filter is used to display your image as a black and white. So how many percentage that you want to print as or display as a black and white, that is depends on that percentage. If you mention over here as a 50%, so the image will be displayed as little bit 50% black and white and 50% color are there. So the important part is that you can apply that this kind of effect in that CSS. Okay, so that same applications you can do in that internal as well as the external CSS, but that depends on that what is your priority. If you are know very well that if you are very comfort in that external CSS, then do that. Is it okay, Jay? Okay. Now next thing is that, okay, one more thing. Uh, just see this side. Okay, now next thing is that, first tell me that what you are understand on this particular program. In that internal CSS, I mentioned that element selector as a body, that background is light blue URL. Then after I just mentioned that one of the image and no repeat fixed center. So that is new for you. Okay. But now in that body part, what is that? Just tell me that what is that in the body part, what I use? Heading and paragraph text. So this is some text, this is some text are there. Let's see that first output, how it's displayed. It's my H11 file. See, background is light blue color is displayed. But suppose I mentioned something is that something GIF images, but that GIF image is not available in my system. So what happened, that image will not display. Okay. Now if your image is displayed or something image I mentioned or download from that internet, and just I use that image, name is image underscore tree as GIF. Let's see that I'm just downloading GIF image. Save image. Should I mention in my, okay, I'm just, this is the PNG image. Okay, let's do that PNG image. So download .png. First let's see that output. Where is my image? Okay, download png is there. See, now this image is a very smaller compared to my web pages. Okay, so I've just mentioned over here that this image is must be as fixed and center. So see, I'm not applying that align. So based on this, you can apply this way also. No repeat, that means sometimes if you are using that, just see this. Control X, fix and center. See, the image is repetitive on my web page, but I want to display as a single image. So what happened that at that time I must have to use that a no repeat keyword. Now this keyword I use on my background. So background will be used as no repeat and fixed. That means this image will be a nothing will be do, and it must be a center of my web page. So now see, if we are doing in that image tag that we use that height size, then center of this page, but center of this page માં બી તમે vertically નથી આપી શકતા. Now once you are using that CSS, you can do in a single line that multiple effects are applied. Clear? Multiple effects are applied. Get my points? Okay, so this you can do from the image part. So right now I am just doing this image as fixed. If I am not put over here as a fixed, let's see that what happened that. Clear? Maybe it will be a variant in my web pages, but I am just put that because this is my center port. This is my center part of this web pages. So it must be a fix on this part કે જેટલું ડિસ્પ્લે છે એમાં ફિક્સ થઈ જશે as a center. Okay, so this effect you must apply with external CSS. If I am applying and I'll explaining to you with the internal CSS, but you have to apply with the external CSS. Start karo.
આપણે જો ફિક્સ સેન્ટર આપી તો આપણે જે સ્ટાર્ટિંગ જે વેબ એટી સેન્ટરમાં ખોલે
Sorry.
એટલે જો આપણે આ જે ફિક્સ સેન્ટર આપેલું પણ જે સ્ટાર્ટિંગ જે વેબ પેજ લોડ થાય એ સેન્ટરમાં ખોલે એટલે આપણે ફિક્સ ડિફાલ્ટ ખાલી સેન્ટર આપે એટલે
તો આખા વેબ પેજ ના કન્ટેન્ટ નું સેન્ટર પકડશે. Okay, so you have to do this exercise. Now you can understand why I am using this P. This is some text, this is some text, because I want to extend my web page. That depends on are there. If you are applying that GIF image, that is also okay. If you are applying that JPG image, that is also okay. The main concern is that this displays the center of this web pages is the most important. Actually, my web page is larger than the display. It's automatically the scroll bar is there. But see, the image is fixed. Image is not movable. Clear? As per my I down as the and scroll down my web pages, then image is a fix. Okay, for you that one more exercise, that suppose I want to little bit a transparent this image, that means 50% transparent I want to do that, then which properties I have to use, you can find out from the internet. No grayscale. Grayscale is black and white. Transparent means opacity any 50%.
આપણે જે ફિક્સ સેન્ટર લખ્યું તો આપણે એને લેફ્ટ કે રાઈટ પર લઈ જઈએ છીએ
હા,
ફિક્સ સેન્ટર
ફિક્સ્ડ નો મીનિંગ છે ફર્સ્ટ ઓફ ઓલ કે તમે સ્ક્રોલ ડાઉન કરો તમારું વેબ પેજ ત્યારે બી ફિક્સ રહેશે. સેકન્ડ થિંગ કે સેન્ટર મીન્સ વેબ પેજ નું સેન્ટર કેચ કરી લેશે.
લેફ્ટમાં આપો તો આખી લેફ્ટમાં જતી હશે
સર આપણે ઇમેજ
જે ઇમેજ મેં નેટ ઉપરથી હમણાં ડાઉનલોડ કરી ને એનું નામ જ છે download.png અને સેમ ફોલ્ડરમાં જ્યાં મારી આ ફાઇલ છે ત્યાં મેં આ ફાઇલ સેવ કરેલી છે એટલા માટે ડાઉનલોડ તમે ગમે નામ રાખી શકો. વિડિયો, હા વિડિયો માટે આઈ ફ્રેમ છે. તમારે નાના બોક્સમાં વિડિયો પુટ કરવો હોય ને તો આઈ ફ્રેમ છે. હે
જેફ યુઝ કરી દીધું એવી રીતે આમાં
કેમાં
જેફ યુઝ કરી દીધું
હા
સેવ રીતે આમાં
વિડિયો છે ને તો વિડિયો સપોર્ટિવ ડાયરેક્ટ આમાં નહીં કરી શકો તમે. વિડિયો ટેગ થી CSS બનાવો, બટ બેટર છે વિડિયો ટેગ થી CSS તમે એની હાઇટ ફિટ સેટ કરી શકો છો. ઓડિયો અને વિડિયો ટેગ એવા છે કે જે અલગ રીતે વર્ક કરતા, એને તમે CSS માં કન્વર્ટ નો, કારણ કે એની ફાઇલ એક એક્સટર્નલ વિડિયો ફાઇલ છે. જે CSS છે ને એ સ્ટેટિક ફાઇલમાં તમારે કંઈક વેરિયન્ટ કરવું હોય ને કલર કોમ્બિનેશન સો ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે. વિડીયોમાં કોઈ દી CSS ઇફેક્ટ, કારણ કે વિડીયો એક રિયલ ઓડિયો વિડીયો હોય ને એમાં CSS ઇફેક્ટ ના કરી શકે. જે તમે પિક્ચર જોવો છો ને કે સ્ક્રીન જોવો છો ને એમાં CSS ઇફેક્ટ આપો, બીકોઝ સ્ટેટિક રિયલ. તમે એને વેરિયન્ટ આપો કે ભાઈ હું ક્લિક કરું નામ થઈ જાય તો એ કરી શકશે. બટ વિડીયો એવું છે કે જેના ઉપર સિસ્ટમનો કંટ્રોલ નથી. કંટ્રોલ આપણા ઉપર, તમે સ્ટોપ કરી શકો, પ્લે કરી શકો, એટલા માટે એ ન કરે.
કોન્સ્ટન્ટ અપડેટ ફાઇલ
હા, કોન્સ્ટન્ટ અપડેટિંગ ફાઇલ જોઈએ. એટલે વિડીયો ટેગ અને ઓડિયો ટેગ બે યુઝ કરીએ, બટ ઇનસાઇડ ઓફ ધેટ આઈ ફ્રેમ બી યુઝ કરી શકીએ. બહુ એટલું ટફર નથી, કરી શકો, કઈ વાંધો નહીં. મારે મેઇન આ વસ્તુ છે. સરાઉન્ડિંગ શું યુઝ કરો છો એઝ એક્સટર્નલી ઓર એડિશનલી, that is doesn't matter, it's okay, you can use it. એ સમજાવવા માટે જ મેં તમને કીધું હતું કે ફર્સ્ટ નો રિપીટ નો મિનિંગ શું થાય છે. ઇમેજ અગેન ઇન અગેન મારી વેબ પેજમાં ડિસ્પ્લે થાય છે, એક જ ઇમેજ સેન્ટરમાં નથી થઈ. ફિક્સ્ડ નો મિનિંગ છે કે ઇમેજ સપોઝ હું આ કાઢી નાખું, સપોઝ આઈ રિમૂવ ધીસ ફિક્સ્ડ, અને આ ઇમેજ છે, સો સપોઝ હું ડાઉન કરું છું તો ઇમેજ મૂવેબલ થાય છે. ક્લિયર? એઝ પર માય સ્ક્રોલિંગ ઓફ માય વેબ પેજ. બટ હું અહીંયા ફિક્સ્ડ રાખું છું તો મારી ઇમેજ મૂવ નહીં થાય, ઇમેજ ફિક્સ્ડ રહેશે. હા, એ તો ગમે એટલા માટે જ મેં લખ્યું છે કે મારે પેજને સ્ક્રોલ ડાઉન અપ કરવું જ હતું, એટલા માટે જ વધારે લખ્યા. એનો ઇન્ટેન્સ બીજો કાંઈ નથી. યુ કેન ડુ નંબર્સ ઓફ થિંગ્સ.
સર તો આ લિંક કરી છે આપણે, તમે કીધું ને સ્ટાઇલ ટેગ ઓવર કરવાનું, લિંક કી સ્ટાઇલ ટેગ ની અંદર જ આવશે.
હા, નિશાંત શું કરે? See, next time મોબાઈલ જોયો તમારું લાસ્ટ ફ્યુ ડેઝ છે ફોર યોર ફર્સ્ટ સેમેસ્ટર, ડોન્ટ ડુ લાઈક ધેટ કે હું આખું સેમ બગાડ નાખું. મેં એક ટાસ્ક આપ્યો, નેટ ઉપરથી કંઈક ફાઇન્ડ આઉટ કરવાનું કીધું કે નહીં?
ઓપેસિટી
થઈ ગયું? ઓપેસિટી થઈ ગઈ, ટ્રાન્સપરન્સી. હા, I want to display this image as 50% transparent. That what I have to apply. ઇન્ટરનલની પ્રાયોરિટી વધારે આવી જાય. ઇન્ટરનલ માટે મેં યુઝ કરેલું હશે વધારે. નામ છે ને થોડા અલગ રાખતા જાઓ એટલે તમને રસી થાય, અદરવાઇઝ તમે ખૂબ કન્ફ્યુઝ થઈ ગયા. H5 family application.
નામ એવા આપો કે હાવ આડા લાગતો એના ઉપર તમને અંદાજ આવે.
Yes, Dinah, you can use any of the image from your system, but if you are mention only the name of this image, if you are mention only the name of image, that image must be on same location where your file is stored. Just like this. See, download.png image is located on my same folder where my H12 file is stored. If your image is someone other location, then you have to mention a full path over here, full path of the image. You just mention over here, then it will be reflected. Okay, so now everyone clear about this? Okay, for the new effect, where you can get it that idea from anything, internet, book, numbers of things are there. Each and every exercise that is not possible to do as practically, because we have now limitations of time, and I'll be careful for this. I will not ask in this practical exam, but I'm not telling to you that CSS event. Whatever I taught you, that I'll be asked surely. That you know very well. Okay. So for the exam purpose, we have to do up to now the CSS effect. That font color, then image grayscale or something is there, then opacity, then blurring, then CSS as text color, background color, anything I'll ask. Okay, so you have to do that practices and just refer this W3 school so you can get the many more things from that. Okay, so once you are free, just go through that. Yes, so those who are attending that online, just write your presence in that chat box and then after you can leave. Yes, Mayank, you can use that body. Are you asking me in that a body tag or body CSS part?
Sir, this GSS part.
Okay, then CSS you can use this. No repeat and fixed are there. Yes, you can leave, Neil.